Hello my adventurous eyes. Today we're going to be creating some really cool planets and our very own spaceship. You're going to need a couple of things. We're going to need some white paper for our spaceship, some construction paper for the background, wax crayons, markers, glue, and some scissors, and coffee filters. If we can get some coffee filters, that would be fabulous because we're going to use them for our planets. You would need about 2. Pencils and a Sharpie if you have one. Remember, you can always send your pictures once you've completed them to theadventurousartroom@gmail.com. We're just wanting to grab hold of a coffee filter. It needs to be one that hasn't been used before, so I've got a couple right here. And what you're going to do is need to get some water-soluble markers. I can't open my coffee filter. It's tricky. Alright, got it. There we go. Now you're going to want at least 2 coffee filters for this activity, so that we can add different color planets to our solar system. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your washable markers and you're literally going to start coloring in your filter. What I suggest you do is think about different patterns and blocks of whole color, and if your markers are like running out, for example this one's a bit dry, that's absolutely fine, because once we start adding the water to the coffee filter it will blend and bleed anyway, so don't worry too much about it being like perfect. So I'm just going to add some pink to my coffee filter. And again, you could make them completely how you feel like you want to. So for example, this one I did in stripes of color, and then this one, I don't know if you can just spirals, but then I re-wet it once the spiral was done and had dried, and it created this kind of effect. So really it's up to you how you want to do this. Going to be able to be moved because I want to go and put this on a windowsill to dry, and then all I'm going to do is I'm going to spray this with water. Now if you don't have a spray bottle, I have my spray bottle right here. If you don't have something like this one, you could just damp a sponge and just dampen the coffee filter using a sponge. I'm going to use this though, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to spritz all across my coffee filter. Okay, perfect. To make sure it's all even, I've done about 5 spritz there of water. Just want to make sure everywhere's definitely got moistened. There we go. So, right now we're ready to add this to the windows. Okay, so now that we've let our, oops, I'm trying to pick them up, our coffee filters dry, what we need to do is start cutting out our planet shapes. Now you can use anything that's circular. If you have I don't know, a glue stick, a milk top, a cup, you have at home to hand that as a circle shape. You want to have a variety of different size circles. That's why I've got this cup, because I can use the base and the top to trace around. So you're going to choose which part of your coffee filters you want to be your planet. You're only going to be able to put your planets on here, so I would say no more than 3 of this size. So I'm going to have one planet that is this color, and I'm going to use my pencil, and I'm going to trace around my circle, and I'm working my way around. There we go, let go. There's my circle for this shape. Now I'm definitely going to have this one as a small one because I don't want it to take too much attention away from the rest of my artwork. I'm going to trace around my circle right here. And I'm using the small circle side of my cup. Alright, there's my second planet. And I'm definitely going to have this. So I'm going to use the same, I think I'm going to use that bigger one right here. All the way around. There we go. Okay, now you have the opportunity to start cutting these, okay? We always hold our scissors correctly and we only use them for cutting when we're being serious. We don't mess around with scissors. The scissors that have the snowman shape, you put your thumb through the small hole and your fingers go through the bottom of the base of the snowman. And then if you have the ones that are a shape of an 8, you just use 2 fingers. So remember to use your helping hand and maneuver that coffee filter around. Now coffee filters are very soft, so you just want to take your time. It's not quite like cutting through paper. You're going to find it really easy to cut through this. So you might want to free your shape like that, and then start gradually like this. Perfect. Take your time all the way around, and then you could even use this for another project. So if you want to keep these scraps, like really helpful for other things, for collage and things like that. Alrighty, so now that we have finished cutting out our planets, we are going to start working on the background. I've got hold of a blue wax crayon and a purple, and I've taken off the paper, and we're going to want to use the side of the crayon. So make sure that you have an area of the side available. If it's dirty, and basically just clean the edges and sides off to make sure it's clean. Other than that, let's get started. So we're going to want to create kind of almost like a wave in the background. The wave is meant to look almost like where the planets and the galaxies in the background. And I'm using these 2 colors right here. I might even get myself a black. We'll see how I feel. And these waves can overlap each other. They're supposed to just make you feel like there might be planets all over the place right here. Okay. And you can kind of see it on the screen. It's a little bit darker in real life. Let me try and make it a little bit darker so you guys can see it. There we go. That's pretty cool. Alright, so it's almost meant to be space dust. That's what I'm going to call it, space dust. I quite like that term. Alright, let me see if I have a darker blue. I think this one's pretty dark. What is this? Grape. That's kind of a purple. I'm going to just snap it. I'm going to peel off the edge. Get rid of that paper we don't need. There we go. Let's see what this colour comes out. Oh, that's pretty purple. Okay. Nice. Alright, perfect. Space dust. Ready for my planets to go on top of. Now, next step, we're going to start adding the planets. So what you want to do is grab your planets, and we are going to start adding our glue around the edge very carefully. We do not need a lot of glue. And then all you're going to want to do is just put this right here. Gently press down your planet. Perfect. So, okay, planet. Get him glued down too. I'm not sure why my planet's a he, but that's okay. Gonna get him stuck right there. And remember, this glue does dry clear, right? But because the coffee filters are quite soft, we don't need to push very hard. We don't need to massage the paper or anything like that we would normally with construction paper or thicker paper. Last planet to get stuck down. Perfect. Excellent. Alright, now we want to let that dry for a minute so that the glue won't smudge and won't smear anywhere. Alright, so back in a second. Okay, so we're going to set this aside to let it dry. And then, oh, I'm going to check. I want to make a rocket ship shape on this white piece of paper that we're going to stick down. I want it to be approximately right here, so I know that my paper realistically shouldn't be too big. So this is where I'm going to draw my rocket ship onto. I know that way when I stick it down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, first of all, think about the shape I want. I want it to be like a pointed rectangle with 2 jet engines and then the base right there. So I'm going to start by drawing kind of like a cone, and then it goes down on the sides and on this side too. And then this is where I want my the jet engines to be. So I'm going to have them coming off the side and pointing towards the middle. And then I'm going to have them coming back up. Same on this side right here. I want it to be about the same height. So I bring my finger across, bring it around, and then I want it to come back up to about there. There we go. There I'm going to have my fuel. So I'm going to make the base of my engine there. But now I'm going to give the flame that comes out the base that pushes it forward right here. So I'm going to draw a little flame on either side. Back to there. There we go. Perfect. And I might even draw another, like what I wanted it to. Now I'm going to add 2 circles for my windows. I'm going to add a bigger one at the base. All the way around. Perfect. And then a little circle right here, like that. Perfect. I'm going to have a reflection on the window by making it 2 lines right there, and 2 lines on the top window, and voila, that's so cute. Okay, before we cut this out, we want to start to make it look like it's metal and made of metal and curving around. So to do that, we're going to use our pencil and we're going to do something called creating tone. To create tone, we use a term called shading. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the side of the, we're going to press pretty hard and gradually get lighter. And what happens is we create something called shading or tone. It's quite bright on my screen right now. It's hard to see it, but it's right there. And we're going to make that rocket feel. So let's have a look at see it doing this. Turn that light down a little bit. That might make it a bit easier. There we go. So we're going to use pressing hard on the sides of our rocket ship, and we want the light to be hitting the middle of the rocket ship, which means our lightest area will be in the middle. And our shade, so I'm pressing nice and hard on the edges and gradually releasing my pressure, getting softer and gentler towards the middle. I'm going to try that up here too. Now a curved shape is pretty tricky. A square shape is a little bit easier. And again, nice and hard on the outside edges and gradually getting softer towards the rocket ship. And you can see how it's starting to look 3D. That's so cool. All the way around. So remember, we press hard on the outside edge. And we gradually get softer towards the middle, making it feel like this is 3D. All the way up here. And don't go over the windows if you can help it, but if we do, that's okay, we can erase it. And then we're going to do the same at the base. Gradually get lighter towards that middle, using the side of our pencil. Shading's pretty tricky, but it's really good to practice now, and you'll only get better. Perfect. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to do these areas right here of our rocket ship. So we want, again, press hard on the outside, following the shape of the rocket, and gradually getting lighter towards the middle. And then we're going to do the same on here, and gradually get lighter towards the middle. And they should all come together in the middle right there nicely. Perfect. Same on this side. Hard on the outside, softer towards the middle. That's going to make our rocket ship really pop out. That looks great. We could do the same right down here a little bit too. Maybe like a mid-tone. Gradually getting lighter towards the middle. Perfect. That looks like one cool rocket ship right there. Tidy up that little bit right there. Now, next bit, we're going to add our fuse, a red and then an orange. Now, you can use a marker or a crayon, whatever you have to hand. I'm actually going to use a marker just because I have them right here. So I've got my orange and I've got my red. Perfect. I'm going to have my red flame. Nice and neat coloring. Perfect. And then my orange. Oh, that looks really cool. Alrighty. And then I'm going to give my windows a blue. I would use a lighter blue if I had it, but I don't think I have one. You know what I'm going to use? I'm going to use the thing that we'd use for the background. I'm going to use that blue. My windows. With my wax crayon. And you can use whatever you have. If you have pencils, markers, whatever you want. Nice. He looks great. Look at that guy go. Alright, now we're going to cut him out. Okay, so now that our planets have had the time to dry, we're going to start to want to think about adding some details to them. So for example, I want one of them to have rings, just like Saturn does. So I think I'm going to put them on this one right here. And to do that, you can make them either out of Sharpie, or you could make them out of your wax crayon. And you're going to want to do that a lot of times to make it look like it has a lot of rings. More than one. There we go. Around here and more. Alrighty, so there's one planet with my rings. You might even want to add a different color in there if you want to. Okay, there's one. Alright, my next one I'm going to do some details like where some asteroids have hit. A little bit. So I'm kind of drawing circles of different sizes. With some details around the outside, like this. This one's got quite a big one. This one's got lots inside itself. There we go. And then maybe, let me have a look right here. One more circle right there. Perfect. Alright, there's one. I feel like it needs one more actually. There's one right there. And there. I'm getting carried away. Alrighty. And then this guy, I think I might add a darker. Perfect. And then on this one, I kind of like the way this one looks already with this kind of detail. So I might just outline in dark. And adding these little details, it's really up to you. You could even, if you want to, you could even add some faces to your planets. But I kind of like mine looking realistic. Oh, I love that one. That one's really cool. Add that shadow right there. It looks like my light's hitting. So I'm just adding a little bit of my Sharpie to one edge. Perfect. All done. Okay, now the next step is sticking down your space rocket or spaceship. I'm going to use my glue again. I'm going to put glue on the back of here. Remember, we do not need a lot of glue. Make sure you get all of the points of the jet engines. Perfect. And then the ship to go, I'm going to have mine as if it's going over here, so it's actually going to go in front of the planet. Right there. Press it down. Now this is a thicker paper than the coffee filter, so we can actually turn this one over. Got a little bit of glue right there. And massage the back. Count 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let's turn this over and have a look. Awesome, I love it. Alright, now we need to add some details to make it look like our rocket is moving. And to do that, we're just going to give it some movement. He's moving really quickly. Around there. And 2 big ones right down here, moving quickly. Whew, look at that guy go. That, guys, is it. Now, if you wanted to, along these wavy lines that you create, you could add some asteroids, which is really easy to do. You can just draw some dots. Space dust. Perfect. And there we have, my friends, our very own spaceship and planets. See you soon.